If you've ever bullied or been bullied before, this story is for you. Quick question before we start. Where are you watching from? Which city and country? Tell me in the comments. Royal Excel Secondary School sat inside a busy part of Surulere, Lagos. Every morning, you could hear Danfo horns outside the gate. Inside the compound, there were mango trees, a dusty football field, and long classroom blocks with rusty windows. Students wore neat uniforms. White shirts, brown shorts for the junior boys, brown skirts for the junior girls, and the seniors in white and navy. Some students were always smiling. Some always looked tired, and some always looked afraid, because of one boy. His name was Derek Ajayi. Derek was not the biggest boy in school, but he acted like he owned the whole place. He was an SS1, tall and slim, with sharp eyes that made people look away. He had a special talent. He could find the soft spot in any person and press it until the person broke. If your shoes were torn, he would shout it. If your hair was rough, he would laugh. If you stammered, he would copy you until people joined. Derek enjoyed it. He enjoyed watching people shrink. Even teachers knew him, but they mostly sighed and said, "That boy is stubborn." And in Nigeria, when adults say stubborn like that, it sometimes means we are tired fighting him. One Monday, the principal announced a new student during assembly. "Students of Royal Excel," Principal Bamadil said, holding a microphone that kept making karar sounds, "we have a new student joining us. His name is Chinedu Okafor. Treat him well." Chinedu stood in front, holding his bag tight. He was in JSS 2, shorter than most boys, and his uniform looked like it had been washed many times. He had calm eyes, but you could tell he was nervous. When assembly ended, students began to move like a river, everyone flowing to their classes. Chinedu followed the crowd. That was when Derek saw him. Derek leaned his friend, Say, and smiled. "New meat," Derek said, licking his lips like he had found suya. Say laughed. "Guy, leave am." But Derek didn't leave anybody. At break time, Chinedu sat under a tree near the tuck shop, eating his small bread and groundnut. He was minding his business, watching other students play football and chase each other. Then a shadow covered him. Chinedu looked up. Derek stood there with two boys behind him, like bodyguards. "So you're the new boy," Derek said. Chinedu swallowed. "Yes, good afternoon." Derek looked at his bread, like it offended him. "Is this what you eat?" Like small rat. Some students nearby heard and started watching. Chinedu forced a small smile. "It's what I have." Derek bent down and slapped the bread out of Chinedu's hand. The bread rolled on the sand. Chinedu froze. People laughed, some because it was funny, some because they were scared, and some because they didn't want Derek to notice them. Derek grinned. "Pick it." Chinedu stared at the bread. His eyes looked wet. Derek leaned closer. "Pick it, or I will use your head clean the ground." Chinedu slowly bent down. As he reached for the bread, Derek pushed him lightly with his foot. Chinedu fell. More laughter. That was when a voice shouted, loud and clear, "Derek!" Everyone turned. A teacher, Mr. Ibrahim, walked toward them with anger on his face. "Stand up," Mr. Ibrahim ordered. Derek quickly changed his face into innocent student. "Sir, I was just playing with him." Derek lied. Mr. Ibrahim picked the bread and dusted it with his hand. He gave it back to Chinedu. "This school is not jungle," he said. "If I catch you again, Derek, you will see trouble." Derek nodded like a saint. "Yes, sir." But as Mr. Ibrahim walked away, Derek's eyes followed him like a snake. Then Derek looked back at Chinedu and whispered, "You have teacher now, but after school you will know me." Chinedu held his bread with shaking hands. That day, he did not finish eating. In Chinedu's class, there was a girl named Aisha. She was smart, calm, and always carried her books like they were gold. She noticed everything. After school, she walked beside Chinedu. "You okay?" Aisha asked. Chinedu tried to smile. "I'm fine." Aisha frowned. "You're not fine. Derek is wicked." Chinedu looked down. "I don't want trouble. My mom said I should just focus and read." Aisha nodded slowly. Reading is good, but keeping quiet while someone hurts you can make the bullying grow. Chinidu sighed. What should I do? Aisha said, first, don't walk alone. Second, report again if he tries it. Third, there are good seniors in the school. Chinidu looked at her. Good seniors? Aisha smiled small. Yes, not all seniors are scary. Chinidu didn't believe her, but he nodded. For 2 weeks, Derek did not stop. He poured water on Chinidu's chair. He hid his notebooks. He collected his lunch money. He called him village boy. One day, during lunch, Derek and his boys cornered Chinidu behind the laboratory. You think, say, you can just come to school and do fine, boy? Derek said. Chinidu's hands shook. I did nothing to you. Derek laughed. That is your problem. You did nothing. Then Derek slapped Chinidu's books out of his hand. The books fell. Derek stepped on them. Chinidu's throat tightened. His eyes burned. But he didn't fight back. Derek bent close. Cry. I like it when people cry. Chinidu held his tears in like someone holding hot water in a cup. Then, suddenly, the ground shook a little. Heavy footsteps. Someone was coming. Derek turned, annoyed. Who be that? And that was when it happened. A boy stepped into the space behind the lab. He was in SS3. He was not just big. He was twice the size of Derek. Broad shoulders, thick arms, and a chest like a wall. His uniform looked tight, like it was fighting for space. Even his face looked calm but serious, like someone who didn't waste words. His name was Emeka Nwosu. In school, seniors had different types. Some seniors liked disturbing juniors. Some didn't care about anybody, and some protected the weak. Emeka was a third type. He looked at Derek. Why are you doing this? Derek tried to laugh, but it came out weak. Guy, shift. This one no concern you. Emeka stepped closer, and Derek's boys stepped back without thinking. Emeka said quietly, pick his books. Derek's eyes widened. You day mad? You be who? Emeka stared at him. I'm your match today. The air became quiet. Even birds seemed to stop singing. Derek forced a smile. You think because you big, you fit oppress me? Emeka nodded once. Yes, that is exactly what you think you've been doing to him. Derek's face changed. He pointed at Chinidu, this small boy day form. Emeka turned to Chinidu. Did you insult him? Chinidu shook his head quickly. No, sir. Emeka looked back at Derek. Then you are just wicked. Derek tried to act tough. If you touch me, you go see. Emeka moved his head a little, like he was tired of noise. Then he said something that entered everyone's heart. Bullying is not strength. It is fear wearing big trousers. Derek blinked. He didn't understand the sentence, but he felt it was an insult. So Derek did what he always did when he was confused. He raised his hand to push Emeka. Bad idea. The moment Derek touched Emeka's chest, Emeka caught Derek's wrist like it was nothing. Derek tried to pull back. He couldn't. Emeka held his wrist firm, not to injure him, but to stop him. Don't. Emeka warned. Derek's face turned red. Leave me. Emeka didn't shout. He didn't swear. He didn't act like a madman. He just said, pick the books, apologize, and walk away. Derek's boys were already sweating. One of them whispered, Derek, a beg. Derek looked around. Students had gathered. Even a security man nearby was watching. For the first time, Derek felt what his victims felt. That feeling of being smaller. That feeling of not knowing what will happen next. That feeling of shame. His voice dropped. I no go. Emeka sighed, like a disappointed big brother. Then Emeka did something simple. He let go of Derek's wrist, bent down, and picked Chinidu's books himself. He dusted them, arranged them, and gave them to Chinidu. Then he looked at Derek again and said, if you want respect, earn it. If you want friends, stop hurting people. If you want to be remembered, be kind. Because fear doesn't last forever. Derek stood there, confused and angry, but also afraid, because he knew one thing now. He had met someone who wasn't scared of him, and bullies hate that. The next day at assembly, something happened that shocked everyone. Emeka walked straight to the principal's office. He reported Derek, not with shouting, not with lies, with facts. The principal called Derek and his parents. Derek came out of the office later, looking like a balloon that had lost air. From that day, Derek stopped touching Chinedu. But the story did not end there, because stopping bullying is good, but changing a bully's heart is better. One afternoon, Aisha saw Derek sitting alone behind the school hall. His head was down. He looked tired. Aisha was bold. She walked close and said, "Why do you bully people?" Derek looked up sharply. "You two want to collect?" Aisha didn't move back. "No, I want to understand." Derek laughed without joy. "Understand what?" Aisha said softly, "Hurt people usually hurt others because they are hurt inside." Derek's face twitched. For a moment, he looked like he wanted to shout, but instead his eyes became wet. He wiped them quickly, angry at himself. "My father," Derek whispered, then stopped. Aisha kept quiet. Derek swallowed. "My father beats me at home. If I bring bad results, he beats me. If I talk too much, he beats me. Even if I keep quiet, he still beats me sometimes." Aisha's heart sank. Derek laughed bitterly. "So when I come to school, I don't want anybody to see me weak." Aisha nodded slowly. "So you make others weak so you can feel strong." Derek looked away. Aisha said, "It's not too late, Derek." Derek scoffed. "You think people will forgive me?" Aisha replied, "Maybe not all, but you can start by changing today." A week later, it rained heavily after school. The compound was muddy. Students were jumping puddles and running to avoid getting soaked. Chinedu was struggling because his umbrella was broken. And guess who stood by the gate with a big umbrella? Derek. People watched like it was a movie. Derek looked at Chinedu, then cleared his throat. "You come," he said. Chinedu froze. His body remembered pain. Derek opened the umbrella wider. "I no get to mouth. Come under." Chinedu didn't move. Derek's voice cracked a little. I'm not doing anything." Chinedu slowly stepped closer. They stood under the umbrella, together. Derek didn't insult him. He didn't push him. He just walked. As they reached outside the gate, Derek said quietly, "I'm sorry." Chinedu looked up. "Sorry for what?" Derek swallowed hard. "For everything." Chinedu stared at him for a long moment. Then he said, "I don't trust you yet." Derek nodded. "Fair." That was the first time Derek accepted a truth without fighting. Before WAC began, Emeka called Derek aside one day. He said, "You're changing." "Good." Derek nodded, eyes down. Emeka continued, "But change is not words. It is actions you repeat." Derek looked up. "I'm trying." Emeka said, "Try harder. Be the boy you needed when you were suffering." That sentence stayed inside Derek like a seed. One day, a new junior student in JSS 1 was being mocked by some boys because of his torn sandals. Derek saw it. Everyone expected him to laugh too. Instead, Derek stepped in. "Stop that," Derek said. The boys paused. "Ah, Derek, nah joke." Derek looked at them. "If you joke again, you go explain to principal." They stopped immediately. Derek removed money from his pocket, walked to the tuck shop, and bought bread and drink for the JSS 1 boy. He handed it to him. "Take." The boy's eyes widened. "Thank you, sir." Derek cleared his throat. "No call me sir. Just take." People watched in shock. Chinedu was among the crowd. For the first time, he smiled at Derek. And Derek smiled back, small, shy, but real. Sometimes, the bully is not just wicked for fun. Sometimes, the bully is carrying pain like a heavy bag. But hear this clearly. Pain is not an excuse to hurt others. You can choose kindness. You can choose empathy. You can choose to stop the cycle. And if you are being bullied, speak up. Stay close to safe friends. Tell a trusted teacher or adult. Remember, you are not alone and you do not deserve it. Because wickedness may shout loud, but kindness lasts longer. If you enjoyed this story, tell me again, where are you watching from? And have you ever seen a bully change before?